JB7 Is this Elijah coming back? John the Baptist Wasthis Elijah of Tishba, who was to return. So to understand this assertion of Jesus, when Jesus says it, he says, yes, who did you see in the desert? Did you just see a wind-blown reed? No, I tell you, much more than that. He is this Elijah who was to come. For example, in Matthew chapter 11 to verse 14. Well, to understand well what Jesus says, who gives to John the Baptist a total nobility, it is necessary to understand, who are these two witnesses, these two men of the Old Testament whose legend says they are not dead. The first is Henoch. It's in the book of Genesis. It is simply said a sentence of him, Enoch walked with God and God took him away, we do not see him anymore. That means that Enoch, a man who is not dead, who has disappeared, is the symbol of God. Humility of a man who loves God, who loves him simply in a contemplative way, and then God takes him with him. As for Elijah, who comes much later, it is quite different. Elijah, in order to define his mission, says, zeal for the house of God has inflamed me. And he does not hesitate to give an extremely strong preaching by threatening hell with Jezebel, the perverted queen of Israel. At one point, he goes so far as to challenge the prophet of Baal, who is the god whom she makes worship, to the people. We will make a sacrifice. You shall put every oxen that are dead, and every one shall call upon our God to see who is sending fire from heaven. And the prophets of Baal do this, and they call upon God all the day, fire does not come. When Elijah prepares his sacrifice, he says to pour over heaps of water and water again, and then invokes God, and fire from heaven falls on his sacrifice. Then he slaughters all the prophets of Baal to the great wrath of Queen Jezebel. That's Elijah. He uses violence if necessary, so much does his zeal for God set him on fire. He goes to hide in the desert and the queen has him pursued. At one point she sends a scum with soldiers to stop him, he drops the fire from the sky on the scum and all the men died until one of them, a centurion this time, a little more terrified, to say, Lord, I have a wife and children, have mercy on me, and he will follow him at that time. It may be said, therefore, that the spirit of Elijah is the spirit of zeal for God, of zeal, which speaks the truth with a sword, even if it is to be decided, because the truth is not easy to hear. As a result, when we look at John the Baptist, we know that he is not Elijah reincarnated at all. It's not that. He is a child conceived in the belly of Elizabeth on his old age. But he is clothed with the spirituality of Elijah, not with the spirit, with the soul of Elijah, in himself. There is no reincarnation in the Jewish faith and Christianity, but of his thought, of what motivated him. John the Baptist said to Herod, you must separate, you cannot be adulterous like that. He said to the Pharisees, bane of vipers, you think you escaped the hell of fire. This is the speech of Elijah. So who is this Enoch who must also come to the end of the world? Well, obviously it's Jesus. Jesus is Enoch. He will preach love, him, gently, without raising his voice. And John the Baptist, before this Henoch who preaches love, says, I must means my spirituality, fear of hell, fear of the vengeance of God, diminishes while he grows up, means, the knowledge of the heart of God. We are going to God, this time, not out of fear but out of love. Thus we see how this old prophecy of the two witnesses was realized with John the Baptist and Jesus, just as it will be realized again at the end of the world, in all possible ways. The essential thing is that there have a zealous witness who speaks of hell and a loving witness who speaks of paradise.